I'm gonna reveal. Okay, I do something weird with pigeons.
Oh, yo.
All right.
What an intro.
Welcome back to NANODOSing. What's up, beautiful people? It is Tuesday. It's April 11th, 4/11, 4/11. And we got the whole squad here, minus Billy. We pushed back our recording 30 minutes, started at 1:30 in the afternoon, and then Billy told us that he was going to be an additional 15 minutes late after asking us to move it back.
We didn't push it back. He pushed it back.
Yes.
Or were you in the middle of explaining that? I'm sorry.
No, you're right. I left out that key detail. Billy pushed it back 30 minutes, and then he told us that he would then be an additional 15 minutes late after pushing it back 30 minutes already. So we're getting started.
The way he did it, though. He's like, I'm running 15 behind. Like, no, dog, you running 45 minutes behind.
And that 15 ended 2 minutes ago.
Yep. So right now the sign behind us is not up. The macrodosing sign's not up. That's Billy's job to put that up. He does a great job of that every week. So right now we've got the Part of My Take sign behind us. So we're just going to do Part of My Take until Billy gets here. And then it will officially be nanodosing. So welcome to Part of My Take. It's Tuesday. It's April 11th. And Brooks Koepka is back.
We're gonna rock down to Electric Avenue.
Arian, did you watch the Masters?
Oh, yeah. I'm in. I'm all in this golf shit.
What'd you think?
Great. I felt bad for Brooks, but not like 100% bad. You know, like I would. He played well. He melted, man. I don't like seeing players melt. I guess is what he had it. You know what I mean? He's 3 shots up going into the final day, 2-3 shots up going to the final day, and it's just like, I don't know. But John Rahm has been playing out his mind this whole year. Like he's just been balling, and so he's the best golfer in the world right now. It was fun to see him cook, man.
He's a beast.
I love the Masters. Is what originally got me into golf, though.
Just the tournament, the pageantry, the green.
So it was the greenery. So I got invited to go golf like in 2007, like with my mans, and I was like, I was telling them no, and then finally the Masters was on. I was smoking weed, and when it came on, I was like, yo, this is the most aesthetically pleasing thing I've ever seen. I was like, yo, take me. And so he took me, and from then on, you know, I was always interested in it. Like I would, started watching it, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great tournament. It's fantastic. I was rooting for Brooks. Was disappointed to see Brooks melt down a little bit. It was too much golf for him. Too much golf. Brooks doesn't like playing golf that much. So when you make him play whatever it was, like 30 holes on Sunday, he was going to get bored. He was going to get bored from it.
I can relate to that though. You know, a lot of his flack is like he gets a lot of criticism. Like he doesn't really like playing. I got a lot of that flack when I play ball. You know what I mean? Like his interests are obviously elsewhere, and that's okay. But he's one of the best in the world at doing it. So he has the luxury of, taking his sweet motherfucking time and do what he wants to do. What I really liked about this Masters tournament though was that this brewing feud from the LIV Tour and the PGA Tour is alive and well. I like that shit, man, because it's like Phil Mickelson, dog. Phil Mickelson placed second at the Masters? Yeah, tied for runner-up with Brooks. That's impressive, man, right? So he's like head in this whole LIV Tour shit. Brooks almost won. So the top 3 players, 2 of them are from LIV. You know what I mean? It's interesting, man. I enjoy the drama. I do. I ain't gonna lie.
I think it was 3 of the top 6 maybe were from LIV. Because wasn't Patrick Reed up there?
Oh yeah, that's true.
He was 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was. It would have been fascinating to see if a LIV player had won. What that would have been like. Oh, Billy's
I nailed it.
149, 150. Just turned 150. Billy is joining us. Billy, we're doing Part of My Take right now until we get the macrodosing sign put up.
Okay. None of you can do that yourselves?
No, we're waiting for you. You're so good at it.
It's your job.
Billy looks like he just got back from the Navy.
I like how Billy comes in late and then he's like, "What? You guys can't do that?" Immediately. Billy's just really good at putting the sign up. I'd probably mess it up if I tried to do it. So that's why we have Billy.
I don't know how to do it. I'm not gonna lie.
So now that macrodosing,
I've also never tried.
Watched All Quiet on the Western Front.
Sick movie. Hate the ending though.
You don't like the ending?
I like the book's ending.
Okay.
The whole point, now that you've seen
Ew,
it.
don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
No, but the
The
whole
book's better.
point, right? The whole
The
point.
book is better, guy.
No, the whole point of the book is that at the end of the movie, like at the end of the book, that
Are you about to spoil something?
Yeah, but it's been out.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
Like
Okay, well
the
then go ahead.
title spoils it. The whole point is that at the end of like when he dies, it's like all quiet on the Western Front. Like it's supposed to be totally pointless.
Yeah.
Like he's just supposed to like stick his head up in a trench and die. Instead, the movie put on this whole big battle last charge scene after the armistice had been signed or whatever, which still like was pretty pointless, but it was supposed to be way more pointless.
Yeah. I mean, the way that it ended, it was pretty pointless.
Yeah, but
They had the armistice was signed, but it didn't take effect for another couple hours. And so there was that one general that never got to fight in a war that wanted to like seize some honor at the last second. So he started a charge, and then that guy died right before the armistice, like seconds before the armistice was called.
yeah, and but like even that was I don't think that's in the book, that last charge thing.
I forget how the book ended,
Yeah.
but it did get the point home of like this entire thing has been pointless.
Yeah, but it's even supposed to be more pointless.
They
That's the funny thing.
They fought over like a couple hundred yards of land, and nobody ever moved.
It was like the first war that it's actually a really interesting part of history because it's when Europe realized that war wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah,
Like America knew war wasn't fun anymore because of the Civil War.
right.
Like we had that like inter-squad scrimmage, which made us sick in the 20th century.
Yeah,
Like that's how. But
it's
because
training camp.
yeah, it was an inter-squad scrimmage.
Yep.
But literally, the Europeans had just been turning their guns, towards armless, colonies, and like they had no idea that, it would be that bad when they turned it on. Like Winston Churchill has an insane writing about during the Boer War, where he was like, the next time there's a global conflict, it's going to be so bad.
Yeah. All right, we're back. It is April 11th. It's spring.
Yeah,
It's spring. It's officially spring. It's gonna be like 80 degrees this week here in New York
I'm going to be honest. That's why I was late.
because of the weather.
Yeah, dude, I get this like giddy feeling when it's like this nice out.
And so you're all right. Whenever Billy starts a sentence with "I'm going to be honest," you know that for sure a lie is coming.
No, that was honest.
You're late because it's 60 degrees outside.
It was so nice out.
So what were you doing?
What is that? Did you think that was a good reason
No, that's
to
not
be
the
late?
actual. That's not the actual reason.
Well, no, you said you're going to be
You
honest.
just said I'm going to be honest.
No, that was just a good bit.
It wasn't.
I'll tell you the real
I'm
reason.
gonna be honest. I'm late because it's beautiful outside.
I didn't want to go inside.
Yeah,
Seize the day.
you're like a kid.
Carpe diem.
We should have macrodosing outside today.
We should. That's what Donnie and I did, and ended up at the Trump inauguration.
Yeah, we do class outside today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donnie, by the way, is on his way over to
Yeah.
Mount Everest base camp. So is
Is he about to climb?
he's
No,
just
just the base.
he's going to base camp, which is not that easy of
Yeah.
a hike actually,
It's
because
hard as fuck.
base camp is I think 17,000 feet, so it's pretty high up.
Something I didn't realize about climbing Everest is that you could climb it all the way to the top in a day. The reason it takes so long is that they have to keep going up and getting adjusted and going back down and going a little bit higher to get
Yeah.
adjusted and go back down. I didn't know they were just going up and down until they finally could like reach the summit.
Yeah, because your body starts to die. It dies once you get above a certain level. So you have to get acclimated to it, or else. And a lot of people still they can't deal with the altitude.
And get your blood.
How long does it take
oxygen.
to get acclimated?
I don't know.
I think it takes like months. I think it takes like 3 months.
I don't know if it's that long.
Because not only do you have to get acclimated to the base camp level, but you have to get acclimated to the climbing up the mountain level and going because you can't stay up there.
Yeah.
So
I told Donnie because I got to hang out with him a little bit this week, and I said, be careful when you get there because of the food. I've heard that a lot of people get like bad diarrhea right when they get to Nepal.
Yeah.
no, it's called something.
Traveler's diarrhea.
No,
Pooping your pants.
Yeah, it's called pooping
Yeah,
your
it
pants.
Delhi
It
belly.
takes about 2 months, and it's
my
because you have to get acclimated, and the weather sometimes can be. That's wild. I didn't know that either.
Getting back to the good weather, I totally understand why crime statistics go up so much on the first nice day. of the year can absolutely understand how that happens.
You felt like doing some crime today?
Just like I felt like more like impulsive this morning. Just like I get it.
Be careful, Billy.
What?
I don't think a judge would accept that. Your Honor, was
Like,
so nice outside.
Have you heard of seasonal depression? Well, think about seasonal
Aggression.
Aggression.
I just want to beat up some
That's
nerds.
what 50 Cent said that. In the hood, summertime is the killing season. It's hot out this bitch. That's a good enough reason. That's what he
Hell
said.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you go out. Yeah. You if you're uncomfortable in the heat, you do get pissed off.
I think the spring's more dangerous. I think the heat makes you want to be like not commit crimes because it's too hot. Like now's the perfect time.
You don't want to run from the police if it's super hot outside.
Yeah.
But right now, you could run the fuck away from a policeman right now, Billy.
I'm manic as fuck right now.
Yeah, I can
I
tell.
don't know what's going on.
I can tell.
No.
Sundress season starts this week too,
Bonk.
officially. No, I mean it's just a
Oh,
fact.
yeah.
It's a fact. Speaking of Nepal and the Himalayas and Tibet,
Yeah.
I think we should get started with Billy's boy, the Dalai Lama.
I think he's a CIA asset.
Oh,
I went on a big, like, I was researching him all this weekend. Let's talk about the story, though.
Yeah. So the Dalai Lama was meeting with a child today or yesterday, and the kid came up to him. The Dalai Lama was like, "Give me a hug, maybe a kiss on the cheek." Whatever, he's an old guy. I guess it's kind of weird, but nothing that weird. And then he was like, maybe you just suck on my tongue a little bit, and stuck his tongue out and asked this child to suck on his tongue. All-time
What?
creepy stuff. Yeah, it's bad, Arian.
That might be like a cultural thing that might be an expression over there.
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit.
I did some reading on it, and I guess in parts of Tibet, like you stick your tongue out and it's like a joke or whatever, but this is not just like sticking your tongue out at somebody. He asked a child to suck on his tongue.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yes, very creepy.
Yeah. So the Dalai Lama's administration acknowledged today that it received 1.7 million a year in the 1960s from the Central Intelligence Agency, but denied reports that the Tibetan leader benefited personally from an annual subsidy of 180K a year, which he definitely did. No.
Yeah.
He was a CIA asset.
Yeah, so the do you know how Dalai Lamas are anointed?
Yeah. They just find a baby from birth.
Yeah, because they believe in reincarnation.
Yeah.
So when the Dalai Lama dies, they go looking for the next Dalai Lama.
Yeah, they're like he just got born.
They're like, oh, this kid, good vibes from this kid.
Has to be in a certain region.
Yeah, he's the Dalai Lama. I'm going to look up real quick just from Wikipedia, and we'll figure out what the rules are for how they find the next kid. But it's Aaron, you should look at the story because
I am looking at it right now, and this is insanity, dog.
yeah.
Do you think they're trying to get him canceled because it just came out?
That's a great
The
reason
CIA
to
stuff?
cancel Cass.
Yeah, it is.
This is
I'm
a great
all on
reason to
board.
cancel
Cancel pedophiles.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I'm not going to go off on a rant.
Now, but Billy, wouldn't you say that like the Chinese government would have more of an interest in canceling the Dalai Lama than the United States government would?
Well, I just think I really don't think the U.S. wants to sort of drum like they funded Tibetan rebels and a Tibetan identity to make a separatist movement in Tibet. So like from China, like anti-communist sentiment during the Cold War, which totally understand. Like they were bad, communism bad, but like the fact that we've done that in the past and, have been, the idea that America was purposely been trying to start separatist wars in the past, I think is something they don't want a light on right now.
So the way that they determine the next Dalai Lama is they have a bunch of monks that go looking for the next Dalai Lama after the first one dies. And so they like scout kids. It's like Major League Baseball. And they look for 4-year-olds that they fit the description, or like 2-year-olds. And then they ask the kids if they've seen visions of the previous Dalai Lama. And then they show things that belonged to the previous Dalai Lama. And if any children recognize what they are and they say that thing belongs to me, then the people that choose are like, well, this must be the kid. and they just anoint him as a child.
Yeah, they do that also in Nepal. There's a child goddess, and it's like really weird. In Kathmandu, there's like they choose a little girl, and they like say that they like put her through all these tests with like snakes, slaughtered animals, and like stuff to like in whichever one of the little girls don't cry, like they all these crazy tests. Let me look up what the exact ones are, but basically until she like gets a cut or bleeds or reaches a age, they choose another one because that shows she's human. It's like the craziest thing. So it's kind of like, look, they dress her up and like keep her in a temple for her whole life
That's wild.
until she like gets her period. Then they're like, okay, you're not a goddess anymore.
That's very creepy.
Yeah,
That's
it's
very
fucked
creepy.
up.
So when the signs of who the next Dalai Lama have been interpreted and they found a successor, there's a series of tests believed to ensure that they are the genuine reincarnation of the previous Dalai Lama. They assess the candidate against a set of criteria and will present the child with various objects to see if they can identify those which belong to the previous Dalai Lama. If a single candidate has been identified, then the High Lamas will report their findings to the eminent individuals and then to the government. And then if more than one candidate is identified, the true successor is found by officials and monks drawing lots in a public ceremony. So they do a lottery machine to figure out who it is if it's in dispute.
Wait,
The part like, I'm obviously a non-believer and not a man of faith, but that's the part of like religion that is so funny to me that it's just like you let the child pick objects. Have you seen Avatar?
Yeah.
The movie Avatar. Remember when he puts in front of him like water, a rock, and like a candle or whatever? Like that's just like some shit. Like they go walk around asking 4-year-olds to pick out a. It's just goofy, man.
I thought you were like,
That
have
shit
you
is
seen
hilarious.
Avatar? Like the movie we talk, like your favorite movie, Avatar?
No,
No,
not
Last
the
Airbender.
not the number one selling movie, series of all time. Not that one. I'm just talking about, the very poorly acted movie Avatar. But really cool graphics.
Wait, there's other llamas? The Dalai Lama is the top llama?
Top Lama.
But there's other llamas?
There's other Lamas, yeah.
How much would it suck to like be like a llama and so revered, and then like everyone when they hear your name kind of thinks of like a llama, like the animal, whatever you say your name, and just like
Mhm.
llama, like those
Also
syllables,
famous for sticking their tongues out at people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like those those letters in a totally different part of the world mean something so different.
Mm-hmm.
Just like human vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That is wild.
Have you read the Dalai Lama's statement?
I have not.
A video clip has been circulating that shows a recent meeting when a young boy asked His Holiness the Dalai Lama if he could give him a hug. His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family as well as his many friends across the world for the hurt his words may have caused. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras. He regrets the incident.
So he's teasing him.
In an innocent and playful way.
It might that might be a thing that like kids do.
Suck
Yeah.
on
When I-
old men's tongues.
Like as like an insult, like suck, like I don't know.
I'm just gonna say, like, okay, yeah, there's different cultures that have different traditions.
There's some weird shit in Korea
Uh,
that we would think is like ridiculous.
An old man asking a young boy to suck on his tongue is one of those
It's a tough look.
cultural traditions that I'm going to go ahead and say should not exist. If in
Now,
fact
is
it
there
is
like
a thing.
is there like a interpretation issue here? Because suck on my tongue is very descriptive in English.
yeah,
There's like really no room for play with that. So is there like an interpretation where, because it says he was sticking his tongue out and like maybe it was like, okay, even then,
you know,
it's just,
I wouldn't
why
throw
would you do
stones in
that?
glass houses. PFT, like making grown men eat hot dogs without their hands, like is in other cultures might be considered very ridiculous.
For
that's
content.
nowhere near the
Yeah,
same
and then asking
thing.
a child to suck on my
I
tongue.
don't know. They were much younger than you.
I don't know about that. I don't think I'm in a glass house. I've never asked a child to suck on my tongue, nor will I ever do that. So I
No.
guess maybe that makes me holier than thou.
You know what they do?
Wait,
you
I'm
know what's
reading.
like a typical thing.
I'm reading the full quote. It's so much worse.
Okay.
In the video, the young boy can be seen approaching the Nobel Peace Prize winner before asking, "Can I hug you?" The 87-year-old spiritual leader then invites the boy on stage, points to his cheek, and says, "First here," prompting the boy to give him a hug and a kiss. The Dalai Lama then points to his lips and says, "Then I think finally here also." Then he pulls the boy's chin and kisses him on the mouth and "suck my tongue," he says after a few seconds.
He was trying to make out with his kid.
That's... Ugh.
Whoa,
Was
horny
the
as fuck.
Was the Dalai Lama compromised on Epstein's Island?
I think there's probably something wrong with taking a kid and just being like, okay, you're God. You know?
Yeah.
Like the kid grew up thinking he was a reincarnation of the most holy figure his entire life. And same thing in like Catholicism, where you have a pope or you have priests that once they enter the priesthood, you're told, okay, you no longer get to even think about sex. You no longer get to have it. Probably fucks you up.
But you know what Donnie and I discussed on extra dosing, that the monks, you know how monks can do like crazy shit, like they can like walk, like run on water, or like get really good at kung fu, or like walk up the side of some mountains, like you've seen those videos. It's because they get super powerful from nofap.
Yeah.
They like reach like all these nofap guys. I was looking into them.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's these guys who are like, we won't jerk off and we're going to get superpowers from it. We were reading like all these Reddit posts and they're like, you know, it's been 5 months since I've jerked off and I think I've reached internal power. And they're like, women are so much more drawn to me. I get like so much more stuff done and everybody like kowtows to me. Like I command a room better. Like I've reached like this, so they think they get this superpower. These monks, like we looked it up, like how they handle that whole thing. They're not allowed to jerk off, and they say that the wet dreams stop, and that's when like they reach this enlightenment and then are able to do some crazy shit.
I don't think that there's many things that are hornier than a guy that just talks about how he doesn't jerk off and it gives him superpowers. That's very horny.
Yeah.
For a guy to...
I just watched the video. He's speaking English and he says, "Suck my tongue."
Yeah, I
And
saw that.
The video's worse than the reading of it. It's because he's like eerily and creepily just staring at this nigga like it's sus. It's very sus, bro.
I think it's beyond sus.
When I say sus, I mean like he might have done this shit before in some kind of capacity.
I would imagine so. I don't think that you do that for the first time in front of a camera.
On camera?
Like he's very comfortable asking for that, you know?
That's goofy.
Let's get the Joe Biden child sniffing videos up.
Yeah.
I mean, they probably watch those in China like we're watching this.
I don't think Joe's ever asked anybody to suck on his tongue.
Oh.
That would.
I don't know.
Have you seen it?
There's some pretty creepy stuff. Not those exact words.
I did see, what was it, Sarah Palin? She put out a video of Joe Biden being like, pretty much calling him a pedophile. But it was a clip of that time that he met the stuttering kid and he just like brought him in close and was like, "You can do this. Like I used to stutter when I was a kid." It was like the most innocent Joe Biden. There's some bad ones out there of Joe, but in this one, he's actually like being a good dude in this one video.
I have plenty of videos of the Dalai Lama being good to children.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, but you wouldn't use one of those to be like the Dalai Lama's a creep, right?
I don't know. But this might be like a prank or something we don't understand, because in Korea, there's the kancho.
Nah.
The kancho is a prank performed by clasping the hands together in the shape of an imaginary gun and attempting to poke an unsuspecting victim's anus, often while exclaiming, "Kancho!" It's a common prank among children in East Asian countries such as Japan. In Korea, it's called the dongchim.
Yeah. In America, they call it goosing somebody. I mean,
I never heard of that one, bro.
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
ever heard of goosing?
You poke him and say goose?
Well, like a golf club or
Goose.
something like that.
Oh, you're talking about
When you say-
Gaddafi.
Yeah.
Gaddafi!
Yeah, sure. I guess that's what you call it. No, like your buddy, you'll be like, poked you in the butt.
Yeah, but turns out like they do this all the time. Like one of my friends, he went to teach English in Korea. He was like, "Yo, dude, I don't know what the hell to do. All these kids are like trying to finger each other's buttholes," and like I got them in trouble, and they were all like, "What the fuck?" I took them to the principal's office, and they like had to explain to me that that's like something, you know, boys will be boys.
I wonder if there's an article over in like a Korean newspaper talking about American customs and traditions.
Yeah.
It's like some adolescent males will hit each other in the scrotum and say "sack tap" and run away. This is weird.
Yeah. I just want to know if that's like the Dalai Lama, just there's some like weird thing, like expression where it's like, "Oh, suck my tongue," like as like a joke.
I don't think so. Also,
Not a good joke.
he pauses. He says the word suck, pauses like he's almost thinking about it, and then continues and says my tongue, and then sticks his tongue out.
But even the thing that preceded that was hella weird was he like tells him the kids, he said, then how about here? And the kid is obviously hesitant, understandably so. And then like he like pulls him closer, and like the kid is like kind of going like that, and then like pulls him in and kisses him, and he's like ah ha ha ha. And then for like 7 to 8 seconds, he's just like kind of staring at him like really fucking weird, dog. Whole shit is creepy, man.
That kid should sue and then become the next Dalai Lama.
Reserve all rights to be the next god.
Yeah.
Lit.
I don't think I'd like to be the Dalai Lama. It sounds like a bad gig, actually.
And
What
coming
does
off
he
some
just
bad
kind of
PR.
just goes around and
Yeah, they just trot you around like a mascot. You're supposed to be perfect all the time, always smiling.
Yeah. Think about royalty.
Yeah.
They're basically like the country's pet humans.
Yeah, the mascot.
Yeah.
You're the mascot for the entire nation. It's like being queen or king
Harry.
of England
Yeah.
or Prince Andrew.
Is there another? Are they still doing that shit, or is it dying with this generation? There's gonna be another queen or
No,
whatever?
Charles is the new king.
They have their coronation in
Can't believe
September.
In 2023, we're still doing this stupid shit.
Charles is going to be king, and then William is next in line, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Then Kate would be queen.
yeah,
would
but
be
who's William's first son?
Louis.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna
How
have
is
another
that
King
interwoven
Louis.
with like the actual politics of the state? Like, do they
So-
have
It's
any
not.
actual power?
No, I
Yeah,
used to like hate on the royal family, but I understand it now. I still hate on it, but I understand it. They're in charge of like all the ceremonial shit. So like in the United States, when a head of state comes from another country and you see the Bidens walking them around the White House and shit, and like having these ceremonies where they just shake their hands in front of flags, get their pictures taken, all that stuff, that's what the royal family does. The Prime Minister of England is actually in charge of the governing part, like doing the work, not doing the photo ops and things like that. So
Okay, you say you understand it. Well, sell me on it.
yeah, no, there's just a separation, because why do we need our heads of state? Their job is not to be like a mascot for the country. Ideally, if you're president, your job is to make things better for the people that elected you, right?
So the argument is have a quote unquote head in place to be the face of this, so that we can get all the work done behind the scenes.
Yes.
Also, they can't survive
hate
in the
that.
wild. They've been in captivity for too long. They can't. Like, you know how tigers born in captivity, some bears, like, you can't release them into the wild because they can't provide for themselves? Like,
That's the
Their
royal
blood-
family.
that's the royal family.
Their bloodline's too crossed up to be out there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, like, you think Prince Harry can survive? Like, Prince Harry can't survive, like, out of the public eye making, money off his likeness, even though
Harris.
that's why he ran away from the royal family.
So what? Let that nigga work at Starbucks and keep it pushing.
No, then he'll die.
So yeah,
It happens, B.
their purpose is that they go out in public and everyone talks about the clothes that they wear. They're like, oh, look at this cool hat that the queen wore. Isn't that nice? I'd like to have a hat like that. And then other people are like, wow, that queen sucks. I hate her hat. Basically, people just get mad about their clothes, but they don't have any real responsibilities besides just like being stately and greeting people. They are a mascot. They're a mascot for the country.
Oh, Arian,
Okay.
imagine
what
this.
would your Okay, Billy. Go
No.
ahead. I'm about to imagine this.
Okay, imagine that when you were playing the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
all you had to do was play football and you never had to meet with the media. You had like someone else doing that for you.
Yeah. I mean, PFT just explained that to me. I didn't need the analogy, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you, though.
I thought we were trying to
I appreciate
convince you why the royal family has value.
Arian, you don't understand politics.
That's what he was just doing.
You don't understand, but you used to run with a ball in your hand really fast, right? Let me put it in terms you can understand, Arian. That's like
Yeah. That's Billy just trying to
No.
dumb it down for me, water it down for me, Billy. I can't take it. No, I mean, I get it. What would be your, because we're too far gone as a country to have any kind of king or queen.
mm-hmm.
What would be your
Like who would be the king and queen?
suggestion for? Well, like, what would be your suggestion for our mascot? Like, how would you implement that into our politics?
The Rock. The
I'm
Rock,
sold. I'm fucking sold.
but
bro.
not Dwayne Johnson.
Oh damn.
It would be The Rock. It would be him in character. It would be him
Oh, okay.
like putting his eyebrow up at people. You know, like calling other heads of state a Rudy Poo candy ass, that sort of thing.
I think we discussed this, but is he the most bipartisanly loved
Yeah.
character in the nation?
I think he used to be, but I think he beefed with Trump, didn't he? Or he
No,
He stayed out of everything.
I don't think he ever said anything.
No, what he did do is he once posted an Instagram story saying, "Rogan, let me come on and we can talk about my tequila." And then he had to apologize because Rogan was like anti-vax. That was the one
Oh.
controversial thing he's ever done.
Really? I thought that there was something else. I thought that he beefed with Trump supporters.
No.
Yeah, so The Rock might be a good choice then.
I don't know of any other I don't think there's anybody close. Maybe Dolly Parton.
Yeah, Dolly should be queen.
That's a good one. I was saying her, Meryl Streep.
Meryl
We
Streep.
should-
She seems a little too fancy for me.
That's fair.
I think we should have a arranged marriage between The Rock and Dolly Parton, and that should be our mascot for America.
I like it. Who says no?
That'd be way cooler. Like, you win the World Series, you get to go to Dolly Parton's house instead of the White House
Yeah,
with
Yeah.
Sleepy Joe.
yeah. Go to Dollywood.
Dollywood.
Yeah,
Ride
That's
some
way
roller
cooler.
coasters.
bro.
Go to Opryland.
different. They're 2.5 hours away.
I
Actually,
know.
a little more, but
I
yeah.
know, but like I just assume that Dolly Parton lives in Opryland. She
That'd be
lives up
cool.
in like the balcony of it.
I went and when I was in college, and we was broke. So how I paid for it is we used to gamble, and we used to meet this dude. Which now that I think about it, he's a fucking clown. That I'm thinking about. This nigga used to like we used to get our Pell Grants, and we used to go like shoot dice and gamble with some like random like local Knoxville cat. And then, but he was like older. He was like 30, 40 years old. And then one time we were shooting free throws. Like I don't know why we was in the facilities, but we were shooting free throws and we gambled, and I won shooting free throws, and I made enough to take a little shorty I had at the time to what is that shit called again? Dollywood.
Yeah,
It's a
Random
fun
story,
place.
but yeah.
I've never
was-
been.
Wait, who's this 35-year-old guy?
I don't know him. He was just some cat. He used to hang around. I mean, I guess I don't know him. He was always around like a lot of the older football cats, and so like everybody knew him. Everybody go to him. It was like we usually go to the hood in Knoxville, so like East Knoxville, and we used to just gamble with this nigga all the time. Like one time I went in there, and y'all probably won't know who these people are, but like I think Yo Gotti was there. Y'all know Yo Gotti, right?
Yeah.
Yo Gotti. There's another all-star who's like a famous local Nashville rapper. Bunch of Knoxville cats. They was all in there just gambling. It was wild.
So this guy would just like host like gambling parties?
Yeah,
That sounds pretty cool.
It does seem
it
pretty
was,
chill.
it was dope for as a a youngin'. It was dope because you get used to gambling and shit. But like now as a 35, 36-year-old man, I'm not going to no college campus trying to gamble with no fucking 19-year-olds. Like that's weird.
Yeah, it does. It seems like a strange thing from that perspective, but it helped you. You had a good time.
Yeah, we saw Dollywood.
I'm looking at a BuzzFeed list here. The most universally beloved people. Dolly Parton's number 2 on the list.
Was number one.
Number 1 is David Attenborough, but he's British, so we can't use him.
Yeah, no, we looking at Americans, Jack.
Betty White was on the list, R.I.P. Robin
Yeah,
Williams
oh, yeah.
was on the list, R.I.P.
Yep. Mhm.
Mr. Bean, Steve Irwin, a lot of dead people on this list. Keanu Reeves, he'd be a
Damn.
good one.
Do people ride for Mr. Bean?
I guess so. I guess, yeah, I think British people love Mr. Bean.
That checks out.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
Weird Al.
Really?
Tom Hanks
I
would-
know he's like.
Tom Hanks would be a good king.
No.
I think he's like bipartisan, like neutral. I don't think he's loved like that. I'm talking about Weird Al. I don't think he's like beloved. I think he's more like, you know, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never heard someone
Or
be
I
like,
could
you
be
know who
wrong.
I really love? Weird Al.
Oh, you don't know weird enough people then.
I grew up loving Weird Al when I was like 9 and 10. I love
like
him.
loving him, or was it just like, oh, he makes silly spoofs? I don't mind him.
I was like obsessed with all of his music videos.
Yeah, when you were 10 and you're like, haha, he changed the words.
Yeah.
But now you're an adult and you don't really care.
Yeah, that's true. No, you cracked the code there.
Who
Yeah.
threatened to kill Weird Al?
What?
I don't
Someone
know.
had beef with you.
Billy,
Weird
why
Al.
no Tom Hanks? You said a very quick note of Tom Hanks. You still believe the fake website that you saw one time that said he was on Epstein's flight?
No. Did you see Chet Hanks?
Yeah, people hate his son.
Yeah, his son.
So you want Prince Chet Hanks?
Yes, actually I do. I would love Prince Chet Hanks.
He'd be the Hunter Biden of.
Yeah, every family
Of
needs
that.
one.
Yeah, everyone needs a black sheep.
I do think that Tom Hanks is universally beloved. Also, Danny DeVito's on this list.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be a very funny king.
You know him.
Yeah, he
I
came
think
on.
he said he might have had said something about Trump. Did he not?
Yeah, I think
I could be wrong about
he
that.
is. He's a political guy. I think
Yeah, so I don't think that works.
he's got a famous tweet at Antonin Scalia, the former Supreme Court justice, and it was just Antonin Scalia retire, bitch.
Eminem was the one who beefed with Weird Al.
Oh, Eminem did?
Yeah.
I'm gonna see Weird Al winning that beef.
Yeah.
What was the?
See, that's the one time I'm gonna ride for M. Actually, I mean, he's one of the goats. But when he's in battle mode, he has one of the best pens of all time, though. I don't, Weird Al gonna take the L.
Mr. Beast.
Except when he battled Mariah Carey, he got him, dog.
What happened with that?
Take Mariah Carey. You don't.
I don't remember that.
They was going back and forth about like rumors about how they slept together or whatever, and then Eminem had throw out like a little about like Nick Cannon or some shit because they was going together at the time, and this is about as deep as my celebrity gossip goes, and because he threw out that little verse, she came out with that song "Obsessed." Why you so obsessed with me? And then Eminem came back with another song that didn't hit nearly as hard as
The Warning?
Obsessed is.
The Warning is intense. Like
Niggas with comb overs think Eminem won that battle, but Mariah Carey smoked him.
No, The Warning
Smoked him.
is. Have you? When was the last time you listened to The Warning? We would play that in the locker room all the time.
Like I said, you have a comb over.
I don't have a comb over. I just comb my hair. This
You
morning.
have a comb over right now,
It's not
Billy.
a comb over. It's just a buzz cut that's grown out a little. I combed it.
Aaron, you missed the
Combed
part.
over.
Billy said they used to play in the locker room, and
It was
dudes would
hyped.
get jacked up to it.
Like
You used to play
Well, are
diss
you-
tracks against Mariah Carey.
We used to
get
play-
hype for the football game.
we used to play all types of diss tracks.
Okay, that was just on the cue.
Yeah.
He did
Nah,
murder.
I
Machine
got
Gun
Mariah
Kelly,
Carey smoking him. I respect your opinion though.
though. So I
but I don't think it's.
looked up a list of Gallup's most widely admired people of the 20th century. You know who number one is?
Churchill?
The Rock.
Mother Teresa.
Oh,
Oh,
Number
fuck that
one.
bitch.
they haven't done the research.
Stat patter.
Yeah,
They
they don't
have
know.
not done the
They
research,
don't know.
but
That's
only
propaganda.
49% of people like her, which that really tells you something. The most
Good.
the
That
most
means-
liked person means 49% of people like you.
I
Hold
feel
on, do they have The Rock on that list?
I'm not seeing them.
based on
Then-
numbers, I
then-
feel like. Wait, you go, Aaron.
I was just gonna say then that can't be a current list if The Rock is not on that list. Like I feel like if you don't like The Rock, it's more like, man, he's just too, he's too positive all the time. Like that's the kind of vibe if you don't like The Rock. There's nobody that just dislikes The Rock because of something he did or said or just a great fucking dude. I
Well,
mean,
that
I
one
unfollowed
was-
him because of the
You said 20th century, right?
20th. The Rock put in a lot of work in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's mostly politicians. It's Mother Teresa, MLK, John F. Kennedy, Einstein, Helen Keller is on this list.
That MLK should be killing me, man.
FDR.
Wait, what's this list called?
It's Gallup. Gallup did a poll of the most widely admired people of the 20th century.
Oh, you know who doesn't
That's
like The
crazy
Rock?
though because they hated MLK while he was alive. I hate that MLK post love. It's annoying.
There's a bunch of people who are pissed that The Rock doesn't admit that he uses juice, and it sets
Yeah.
a unattainable standard. Yeah, there's like body image issues for bros,
Mm-hmm.
and The Rock's like contributing. There's like a whole group that are like anti-rock.
He's
for
too
not
jacked
admitting.
up that he's problematic.
Yeah.
PFT, I feel like based on percentages, you'd be up there.
No,
Yes.
no.
Based on percentages.
SVP would be up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody likes SVP.
I do feel like you would make a good run, though, just based on percentages.
RFK Jr. just announced he's running for president.
I saw that.
I
Yeah,
saw that.
Yeah.
as a Democrat.
Yeah.
Is he a bad person or a good person?
That's a very
Um,
complicated question. Mad
Which
Dog.
I was trying
He
to.
knows the truth.
I was trying to do some research on him, and I was getting mixed reviews.
He's like old school anti-vax.
Oh,
So he hates.
Wait, he's anti-vax?
Autism. He's autism.
Like,
anti-vax.
he's
Oh, he's like that. He's like 2002 anti-vax.
He's like if you give your baby shots as a kid,
They're gonna get autism.
They're gonna get autism.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think.
Really?
Unfortunately, I think
that would be a
he-
great episode to do, actually.
Autism or the vax thing?
old school.
The
anti-vax.
where it originated, where that claim
Yeah.
actually originated from. The whole background story of it is actually, it's stupid, but it's fascinating how it grew.
Yeah. It was like one scientist that started it.
That flubbed the results of a horrible study that, like, later on got a couple of the authors pulled out. I think most of the authors pulled out of it, and then he lied about the results, which is why he got disbarred. He lied about the results, and some of the parents, like, there was a couple of the kids. There was only 12 kids that got studied, and a couple of the kids didn't even have autism.
Damn.
It was just silly. The whole shit was silly.
And then it was like RFK Jr. and Jenny McCarthy was one of the original people that
Jenny McCarthy's
started the-
big
she-
anti-vax.
Do you think any of the
Blew it
old
up,
school
yeah.
anti-vax people are pissed off at the new
Yeah.
wave where it's like, hey,
Like-
where were you? I've been doing this for
Well,
years.
I think the old school anti-vax people, were kind of used to make the new school anti-vax people like debase all their claims.
Oh, you think so?
same blueprint.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
the same blueprint.
RFK, though, I think his brain's just so much more conspiracy-wise because he was like his proximity to so much conspiracy.
Yeah, your whole
He's-
family was killed.
Yeah. Like he thinks that everybody's out to get. Like his story, he thinks that his father was killed by the security guard standing behind him, and he actually has some pretty good evidence
There,
and convinced me that the security guard killed him. It wasn't Sirhan. So then if you think that the security guard killed him and Sirhan was not, didn't go crazy, and he also doesn't remember the whole thing, then you're thinking, oh, MK Ultra, the Manchurian candidate, Sirhan was doped up on LSD and they made him the fall guy. And then you're thinking, oh my God, there's government entities causing, like juicing guys up on acid and telling them to shoot people. And then you fall down a huge rabbit hole.
It's exactly what I was thinking, actually.
yeah.
Because think about how many things must be true for that to happen. And then your brain's just Alex Jones out there.
Yeah, so RFK Jr. he's gonna try to run for president as a Democrat. Doesn't make a lot of sense running as a Democrat for him.
I think he might be the best candidate the Democrats have.
Is he
'Cause-
a Democrat?
Well, his father and his uncle were Democrats,
Well-
old school Democrats.
Yeah, I just don't know if him running as a Democrat is gonna. How many people who vote for Biden are gonna vote for RFK Jr.?
I mean, in the primary, anyone can vote.
That's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Aren't there certain states that are just you have to be a registered Democrat?
Right, but there's other states.
Yeah.
So you might see a lot of other people voting for
I'm
RFK.
confident in saying that RFK Jr. is not going to do any damage to Biden in the Democratic
I
primary.
don't know.
Does he have a political, I mean, obviously his family, but does he have like a real political background? I don't know anything about this guy.
He calls himself an activist.
Is he like Connor Roy?
You mean from Succession?
Yeah.
No, I mean he's been involved in politics.
From a
it's not-
very young
yeah, it's
age.
not just somebody that decided, okay, I'm gonna run to like increase my profile.
Right.
He's been like a public person, and he's been in and around politics a lot. I don't know if he's ever ran for anything though. My guess is he probably has at some point.
I also
RFK Jr.
I also did a deep dive on Rosemary Kennedy this weekend.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fucked up.
That's so sad.
Dude.
They just kept her in like an insane
Well,
asylum.
they
And they
lobotomized her.
lobotomized her.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they lobotomized her on Roosevelt Island.
Really?
Yeah, that used to be an insane asylum.
I didn't know that that's where they did it.
Yeah, let me.
I don't know, but that's really sad.
There's did we do a Kennedy's episode?
I think we did
We did
JFK's
JFK assassination. Yeah.
We could do a Kennedy,
the Kennedy
curse.
curse episode.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That could be a good one.
Yeah.
That
So
would be.
RFK Jr.'s he's been a lawyer. He criticized George W. Bush when he was president, and then he criticized Obama. He criticizes everyone, no matter who's president. So I guess he's like a little bit of both sides. So he first considered running for political office in 2000 when New York Senator Daniel Monahan did not seek re-election. He then considered running for New York Attorney General, and then he backed out of both of those. And then he was in discussion to be appointed to the U.S. Senate when Hillary Clinton ended up taking the seat, but he also didn't. Seems like he's like been considering running for a lot of stuff, but never actually has.
Unfortunately, he also, I think, is kind of sick. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's counsel to Morgan & Morgan law firm.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I love Robert Kennedy.
RFK Jr. for president. I will help work on your campaign.
How old is he? 54. So he's 1954. So he's.
We need a Jimmy Carter
70.
ticker at the bottom of all of our podcasts. Just every now and then scroll across and yep, still alive.
Just make him king. Big T. What did he teed off about?
I don't know that anything. Had a good weekend.
A good weekend?
Whoa, good one?
Yeah,
Whoa.
no, it was good. It was good.
What'd you get into?
You know, Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, he is risen. Congratulations.
Yeah. Saturday I didn't. I was supposed to do my taxes Saturday. Didn't.
Nice.
When I found out that it's not actually the 15th this year, you have the extra
You get the
couple
weekend.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be next weekend's problem. So yeah, it just kind of was. I don't think.
That'll be next weekend's problem.
Yeah,
I like that.
next weekend doesn't exist yet, so my taxes don't exist.
What do we know about the Easter Bunny?
Oh, Easter Bunny, pre-Christian paganism.
Yeah.
It's like worship of spring and new life.
Okay.
I don't
Because
know if it's pagan. I was reading something about that recently.
It's-
I don't know enough though.
paganism just applies, like, is a umbrella term that just applies to any, like, not polygamy, polytheistic
Polytheistic?
polytheistic
Okay.
religions from Europe that mostly have been erased from history because, like, Christianity was just like, this is the devil. And then they made a bunch of, like, the Easter Bunny and, like, chicks and, like, baby animals were impossible to make devil adjacent. So the other pagan imagery just became synonymous with the devil in order to, like, write it off.
And all the good stuff
Yeah.
was like, yeah, we can adopt this.
Like,
we
okay,
can pick
okay.
and choose what we want.
Yeah, okay, rabbits and baby chicks and laying eggs, like, that's we can't really make that evil, but we'll let them vibe with that. So that's not a threat to Christianity.
So the eggs that the Easter Bunny hides, those are supposed to be symbolic of chicken eggs, right? They're not like rabbit eggs.
No, yeah, well, the Easter Bunny lays eggs. I don't know. You know who does lay eggs though? The platypus.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's one of the weirder animals out there. But no,
Yeah.
I don't think that they're supposed to be rabbit eggs. I think that it's one of those springtime things.
So it was explained to me, my grandma, who's such a genius. Like, I was questioning. She used to put on this whole Easter egg hunt. So I was questioning the authenticity of the is the Easter Bunny real? Is Santa real? And my grandma was like, look, the Easter Bunny isn't like a regular bunny. It's a lot like a platypus. It lays eggs,
Okay.
but it's a mammal.
That makes sense.
And I was like, oh my God, of course. Like, how could I question the Easter Bunny?
That makes sense. What are some of the best lies that your parents told you growing up to just explain things?
Oh, that you can't turn the light on in
Yeah, I
the
was
car at
gonna
night?
say that.
Yeah.
What is I sometimes, when I first started driving, one of the first things I did at night was turn the light on and be like, wait, what the fuck?
I think it just makes it a little bit more difficult for the driver to see. And so then they just say that it's illegal because it's annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good lie. My mom, she was told when she was a little girl, she saw a bunch of nuns walking down the street, and she asked her mom what those were, and her mom was like, "Those are witches." And so she thought that all nuns were witches for a long time. It's a good lie. It's important to lie to your kids about certain things. Elf on a shelf, Santa Claus.
Yeah.
People just lie all the time to their kids. It's the easiest way to get away with stuff. The stork. Where do babies come from?
Yeah.
Just a giant bird drops it off. That's like way scarier than actually being like, yeah, your mom and I have sex because we love each other. No, there's a giant bird that just drops your little brother off, and he just lands on our doorstep. Now we have to take care of him forever.
Yeah, also, what obligation do you have to any child that's dropped off by a bird?
You wouldn't. Legally, none.
Yeah.
Well, it was made to order, the baby.
Oh, you have to ask the stork?
Yeah. The baby's made to order.
It's like
So.
sheets.
Got it.
Yeah. It's custom.
It's a custom baby.
It's
Yeah.
supposed to look like you and your husband.
Yep. Arian, what are you up to this week?
I'm coming to you guys.
Yeah. A little tease.
Yeah, I had to stay. I'm installing some shit that I had to be here for, but yeah, I leave tomorrow at 6:30. I land at 11 or 10ish, and then then it's just lost to New York, baby.
Then it's on. Big guests coming in this week.
Two.
Big guests.
Are they the two biggest in the history of the show?
No.
Easily.
One, I feel like more than the other.
One.
I think they're
Whoa.
1 and 2.
I think one's the most interesting guest, and the other is probably the most.
known.
We had Michael
Yeah.
Cohen
Famous.
on. People forget that.
That's true. Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I take that back. Actually,
I think these two are bigger than him.
I think for sure.
no.
I think
No.
so.
Bro, Michael Cohen is no.
I think
No.
so.
Michael Cohen's bigger.
Yeah, Michael Cohen's bigger than the guy that we're bringing on that you're thinking of, but I think it in the relevant news of today, he's more relevant.
We also had Harvey
Kinda
Levin on.
too. I don't know, because Michael Cohen's back in the news because of all the Trump indictment shit. So
The star witness.
I don't know.
People
Yeah.
a jury's gonna have to sit down and figure out whether or not to believe Michael Cohen and his testimony. That's gonna be a tough sell for the prosecutor for sure.
Is he officially is like that a thing? Is he
Yeah, I
testifying?
think he's like the government witness, right? He's like the star
Alright.
witness that they have.
That's a Billy question, not a me question.
Is that a Billy question?
Is Michael Cohen testifying?
Or legal scholar?
Yeah.
Billy football?
I think his testimony from his case is filed into evidence.
It's being used, yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna make him do it again because they have everything he said.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he would because he risks putting himself in perjury, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably lied a little bit.
Yeah.
Did he not? I thought he was perjury one of the charges that they had against him?
Yeah, but like it's like risky to testify twice on a subject because if you like get something,
If you get like one
yeah,
detail wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, it's risky to testify if you're a liar.
Also, Trump's 100% on Ozempic.
Oh, is he? He looks good?
Yeah, I mean, did you see him at UFC? He's so skinny.
Yeah.
Do you think that could also be because of like the stress of being
No,
arrested?
that guy doesn't get stressed. He's a narcissist.
He makes other people stress.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
but absolutely diesel squad. Mike Tyson, Kid Rock, Trump, and Dana White staying together. I don't give a fuck what your politics are like. That's just a diesel squad.
It is a diesel squad.
Like that's the Avengers.
Arian, do you think you'd have a good time hanging out with Mike Tyson, Trump, Kid Rock, and Dana White?
I don't know Dana White. I don't know who that is. Mike Tyson, absolutely. He's probably my favorite philosopher in the world right now.
Mhm.
Trump, I think as long as he don't say the stupid shit he's saying, I think he would actually be pretty funny and be pretty cool. But as long as he keeps that stupid shit away, I think we'd be good. Kid Rock, there's no chance me and him get along. And I don't know Dana White.
I think you'd have a fun time playing 18 with Donnie.
Yeah, like I said, as long as he doesn't say the dumb shit, yeah, you're right. I think you're right.
If you were playing twosome, Arian Foster, Donald Trump, playing 18 together, and you saw him like kicking his ball out from the woods, would you say anything to him, or would you just be like, "That's Donnie"?
I keep that. I let people score however they score. Like There's so many people, dog. That's the thing I noticed about like when you break. Like I broke 90, right? So I shoot in the 80s a lot now, and it's like legit 80s. There's no mulligans. There's no let me shoot it again. There's no moving the ball. Right? That's like it's like legit 80. When you break 80, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, wait till you break this. Or, I broke 80 once, and like all that shit. Like you realize how many people think that they do that shit and they don't really do that shit. And when you play with them, like I'm counting in my head how many times they've hit. Is it like a 9 or a 10? And they're like 6, and you're like, whatever, bro. Like it's your score.
Mhm.
It is what it is. Like I don't give a shit. Like nah, it's your score. But when you say, like I shot her, and I'll be like, hey fam, you really didn't. But whatever makes you feel better.
I think I would have fun playing 18 holes with Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, come on the podcast.
Yeah,
We could
Sure.
film a golf video.
that would actually
invitation.
that would be a great video.
Yeah.
Arian and Donnie T just banging out from the Champions tees.
Yeah. I mean, he used to hang out. Anyway, can we have RFK Jr. on the podcast
Sure.
to announce his presidency? Come on, the clicks. It would do mad clicks.
Would it do mad clicks?
It would mad clicks.
I don't know. I don't know if he's like that big of a name.
He's a huge
Kennedy.
conspiracy guy.
He's a Kennedy, which is it's a big name.
Did you hear him on Mike Tyson's podcast?
I did not.
Actually, an amazing.
I didn't know that RFK Jr. had or that Mike Tyson had a podcast.
Yeah, hotboxing.
What?
Mike Tyson, come on the podcast to promote your podcast.
Well, his is probably a little bigger.
Portnoy was on Mike
On
Tyson.
Tyson's?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Tyson. That's what I say. Like, do you follow him on the gram or Twitter or something?
I don't.
Do it. He's
Okay.
just one of the most. I don't know. Like the shit that he says is just very. He takes full accountability for his like youth mistakes, right? But he's grown in such a way that it doesn't define who he is, and he doesn't let it bother him, and he's just very zen like. And like he has like what I love about him most is like he has younger cats, especially young black cats on, who are like going through like in the height of the limelight, and he'll sit them down and he'll talk to him, and he'll be like, yo, well, why'd you do that? Because you're insecure, because you don't feel like a man, huh? It's just, he just talks to him like he's from it, so he knows, and he talks to him like nah, dog, that's not the way. Like when he had Boosie on, like y'all don't know if y'all know who Lil
Yeah.
Boosie is. Boosie is like he also he always like speaks out about like Dwayne Wade's kid, like he's super homophobic, like all that shit, and then Tyson sits down and talks to him and just talks to him it's like passionate but caring but harsh. And he wraps it up in a very nice package, and just the way he's so articulate. I love Mike Tyson, right? Like, he's just an amazing human right now.
Love Tyson. John Morant needs to sit down with Mike Tyson.
You think he'd set him straight?
Yeah, like it.
But I'm
whatever-
saying he doesn't sit people straight in like it's just like a very like
No.
he talks to, because a lot of that like hoorah shit that we grew up in is a lot of fluff, and it's a lot of insecurity, and Mike knows it's an insecurity, and he was like the toughest cat ever, right? He used to box, like had some of the greatest hands of all time, but also he used to box for his livelihood, and before that he used to box like on the streets, and so he knows like about being a street cat, and so he sits down to street cats and he lets them know like most of that shit stems from insecurity, dog, and he puts it to him in a way that's just, I don't know, I feel him, dog. I feel him. It's very deep. I love it.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
He has such a deep emotional intelligence. It may have been like something new, but it's so interesting. And I love how he talks about like ancient, like warrior philosophy, and like he read Sun Tzu and was like, he didn't get bored by it.
Yeah.
Like he embodied it, and like he knows all the mythology, and he's read the history books, and he like it's really awesome to hear him like
The correlation between great fighters in any kind of martial art, albeit boxing, jiu-jitsu, kung fu, Muay Thai, like the pioneers and the people who are about that lifestyle have some of the best life philosophies ever. Like Bruce Lee, like just some of the what's that, Grayson?
Gracie.
Gracie,
Yeah.
was it, I think Rick Gracie, or I
Yeah,
forget his
the
name,
Gracie
but, like,
brothers.
just some of all of them, but like the philosophy that comes with like mastering a martial art it's just beautiful. Like I implore anybody to look at it, because it's just, they view life in a very It's a very stoic way to look at life. It's just beautiful. They view it from a very niche perspective. That's just, I don't know, man. They have some of the best philosophy.
I've been thinking a lot about that, Arian. I think what it comes down to is when you're not spending your whole life trying to prove something, you tend to have more time to think about life in general and like the important things, and it gives you a better outlook.
I think also it's when you have mastered something like jiu-jitsu or boxing or Muay Thai or something that you're a weapon. Your body is a weapon. You tend to understand and be more empathetic towards a lot of things, and it brings you to like a level of peace, because it's like, at the drop of a dime you can fuck somebody up, but the time, the discipline, and the charisma it takes to hone in on all those skill sets brings about some like very beautiful perspective. It's really dope. Like my professor in jiu-jitsu, when we first sitting down, he was very adamant. He was like, he's like, if you're going to walk your journey, if you're going to do a jiu-jitsu journey, this isn't like, you're not doing it just to fight people. He's like, this is a way of life. And one of the things that they teach you, I think I've said this before on this podcast, but there was like, jiu-jitsu is the ocean, and the ground is the water, and most people don't know how to swim. And like, that's just a beautiful way to think about, combat. But that's how like, it's like if I'm in a jiu-jitsu match, like my first thing is like, when I'm on my back, I'm the most comfortable. Like, I'm very comfortable on my back. Like I can do a lot of damage when I'm on my back. And it's just the complete opposite of how I grew up, of like just trying to fight people. Where it's like, when you're on the ground, you got to get up. Like, it's just I don't know, that they just flip, and it's the way that they view things. It's just really gorgeous, man. I just love that train of thought. Sorry, I went off on a tangent.
No, I
That's
mean,
cool.
it's the most humbling thing ever.
And Tyson's a big pigeon guy too, right?
Yeah,
He grew up flying pigeons.
loves animals.
You know who else is a massive pigeon guy, or was a big pigeon guy? Was Tesla.
Oh yeah,
Nikola Tesla. He fell in
End
love.
of life. Yeah.
He fell in
yeah.
love with a pigeon. Instead of having like a girlfriend or a wife, he fell in love with a white pigeon, and he was like, "Man, this is my bride." He looked at the bird like it was, which is kind of weird. Actually, very weird.
I'm gonna reveal. Okay, I do something weird with pigeons. I take pictures
Yo.
All right.
What an intro.
whenever I see
Go off.
whenever I see a unique colored pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
I take a picture of it.
That's cool.
Like, look at this one.
Can you share? Yeah. Do a photo dump.
Like when I find really cool color, because everyone, like, pigeons, I don't know, I like to find the beauty in things. Everyone hates pigeons. They're flying rats, whatever. But living in New York, but sometimes you see like a really beautiful pigeon, and it's like, it just shows you like there's beauty everywhere.
That's like
The
a
segue
good.
was not what I expected.
Yeah, that's a good train of thought to have, Bill.
Yeah, I'm saying you made it seem like you sodomized pigeons or something. It was I didn't know you going from Tesla wanting to marry a pigeon to like, I do something weird with pigeons too.
Like, look at this beautiful.
Pretty
Here, I'll
pretty
send to
normal.
the-
Bird watching is a thing.
Yeah, but like, look at this beautiful.
Marianne Williamson, the Democratic candidate,
Yeah.
who's polling well against Biden right now. She, every now and then, I follow her on Twitter. Every now and then, she just posts random ass like beautiful bird pics, like, and it's random as shit, but it's dope.
It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
Oh, I also do it with black squirrels.
Oh, black
That's a
squirrel.
cool pigeon, Billy. Billy,
That's
yeah.
a cool pigeon, Bill.
Billy, you gotta keep like a thread on Twitter.
You know
of
what sucks?
Billy's best pigeons.
All my old pigeon pictures are on my old phone,
Mm.
and I didn't iCloud back them up.
That's tough. Billy also loves frogs, and if you want to check it out, we've got the Macrodosing frog hoodie that just got re-upped in the store. I saw somebody
Oh.
wearing that in the wild the other day. Actually,
You did?
It was in I want to say Houston.
A guy was wearing the frog?
He was wearing Billy's frog that he drew.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
So shout out that guy. You can also check out. We've got the UFO crystal wash tee. So we've got the rig T-shirt. Check it out. Store.barstoolsports.com. Store.barstoolsports.com. The frog tee is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
People sleep on Billy's artistic ability. The black squirrels are cool too. There's something different about college squirrels too. Did you have squirrels on your college campus? Anybody else here?
Yes,
Yeah.
they were really, really fat,
Yeah.
really fat, and we were just like, these squirrels are getting too goddamn fat.
Yeah, and they're not afraid of humans.
Yeah, so squirrel's actually pretty tasty.
Okay.
Like you can only eat the back 2 hind legs.
Brunswick stew.
Yeah, it's like they're basically 2 chicken wings.
I can't say that I've ever eaten squirrel. I've had rabbit, delicious.
Squirrel tastes a lot like rabbit.
I've had frog. Frog legs are very good.
Yeah,
Frog legs are like they're like chicken wings, tiny little chicken wings,
yeah.
little delicate, tender chicken wings. So anything else we want to get into today? Anything we want to prep for Thursday's show?
I feel like we got to do that off camera.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that off camera. We've got
Anybody's topics?
Well, we should mention, because we said we have the 2 big guests. They're not on this week.
No, they'll be on next
correct.
week.
Yes, they'll
Yeah.
be on next week's episodes, and one's gonna be wild. But what do we want to do for the topic on Thursday's show?
Do you want to do the Kennedy curse or no?
We could do Kennedy curse.
What about
The one with large. Did
Oh,
you-
yeah,
we're
that's
doing
right. Japan.
large.
Oh, Japan.
Yes,
Japan.
Large is coming in. Talk about Japan with us.
Yeah.
Very excited for that.
Sweet.
I got a physical last week because I'm supposed to fly in F-18 for the NASCAR event.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I got a physical. I'm
Okay.
healthy.
That's good.
I passed with flying colors, and we're on the 1 yard line. So it's not official yet, but it looks like it's trending that direction. Where I'll be able
Run
to
the
go up
ball.
in an F-18.
That's so cool.
Yeah, run it. Just goal line. Give me
Run
2
it.
fullbacks.
Run it in.
Let me get in there. But yeah, so yeah, we'll do Japan for Thursday's episode.
Japan's got an amazing history.
It's metal.
It's like super metal.
Yeah.
It's like
Gonna be interesting.
specially crafted metal,
Mm-hmm.
multi-layered metal.
Shiny.
Yeah.
Never mind.
No, they have like super like ancient metal smithing that
Oh,
like
you literally
crafted like the metal behind the samurai sword is like so cool.
Have you heard the
Oh, you mean
story?
actual metal.
Yeah, like the actual metal.
Have you heard the story? Well, I'll tell this real quick, and then we'll sign off. This is kind of a crazy story that I learned about a couple weeks ago. There was a hijacking in Japan. I want to say in the 60s or 70s. I'm not sure exactly when it was, but a group of students, communist sympathizing students in Japan, took over a Japanese airline, and they had samurai swords and shit. And they asked the pilot, they said, fly us to Cuba because we want to join the Cuban Revolution. We want to join Castro. And not realizing that the plane that they were in couldn't get them across the Pacific, much less all the way, because it was a flight that
Oh,
was going to go
Jesus.
from Japan to Korea. And they're like, well, we don't have nearly enough fuel. That's number one. Number two is this plane isn't designed to go that far, so we can't do it. So they made the pilot land in Japan and then negotiated to be flown to North Korea and to be dropped off in North Korea, where they would then join up with the communists in North Korea and then maybe make their way to Cuba at one point. They're like, this will be great. The North Korean government will greet us as heroes because we're going against the Japanese government and we're aligning with them politically. So they landed in Japan, got refueled. The pilots were given a map, and it was like an elementary school textbook map with a picture of Pyongyang on the North Korean map. And they're like, here's where the capital is. And so they just decided that they were going to fly to North Korea. And they're like, well, we're probably going to get shot down because there's no way for us to communicate with them and let them know that we're coming in. They're going to look at us like we're trying to bomb. We're like a military aircraft. We're probably going to get shot down. So they fly south. They turn up to North Korea. And then like a bunch of North Korean fighter jets are scrambled. They get behind it and they shoot their guns at it like a warning fire so they can see all these like tracer rounds going past them. And then they eventually locate the landing strip. They land in Pyongyang and they have a bunch of like North Korean children that come out with signs singing songs for them, welcoming them. They have somebody that gets on the loudspeaker and it says like, congratulations for defecting. You'll be welcomed as heroes. They board the plane and a bunch of North Korean officials get them off the plane, put them on buses. And then it turns out that they were actually in South Korea the entire time. And it was a big ruse that they came up with in like 6 hours where it was a South Korean airport, and they flew a bunch of North Korean flags, dressed their officials up like they were from North Korea, hired kids out there to come out and pretend that they were North Korean children, and made everybody believe that they landed in North Korea, but it was actually in Seoul where they landed, and they arrested everybody and sent everybody to prison.
They actually shot at the plane.
They shot next to it. Those were South Korean fighter jets.
Oh my god.
That it was dummy rounds or just tracers, and they intentionally missed, and it didn't come close to hitting the plane, I don't think, but it was scary enough to the point where the hijackers were like, oh shit, this is North Korea.
All they had was samurai swords?
Yeah, that's how they probably had some other stuff on the plane, but that's the main way that they took it over. And then they landed, got thrown in jail immediately.
That's a lot of like energy expended just to trick somebody though.
Yeah.
I feel like they enjoyed role playing as North Koreans a little too much.
They definitely did. They got kids out there and shit. And on the map that they gave to the pilots, they wrote down in like the top right-hand corner a radio frequency to tune into. And that radio frequency was for the Seoul, South Korea airport.
Whoa.
Yeah. Pretty crazy stuff.
Okay, last crazy story, just as a little hint.
Okay.
The last samurai who fought in a war
Tom Cruise.
was in the
Easily.
Russo-Japanese War, and a Montenegrin who was fighting for the Russians had a duel with this guy, and he was using katana, and this guy was using like a saber, and it was like the last duel. It was like insane. The samurai lost.
I like that in the movie Troy, where they start out the movie and they say, well, we could have a giant battle, but what if we just had our best guy fight your best guy, and then the winner of that wins?
That was back when war was fun.
Yeah, when
Like,
there was honor.
Literally,
And
that's
it
what they
was-
used to do.
Yeah, it was like an adventure that you would go on. That's what happens at the start of All Quiet. Everybody signs
Yeah.
up for the army, even underage kids, because they're like, we're going to have a great adventure overseas. And then they get there.
Like
and-
low-key, you could get laid.
Yeah, okay.
Like
Yes.
that was
You're not serious with the war is fun shit.
No,
I'm
no,
not
but
sure
like
if
they're
it's for real.
like, I'm not for real at all. It's
Okay,
like
all right.
war was fun. Like basically, instead of having a huge battle, one guy would die in a duel, and then they wouldn't fight the
Right.
battle. Like they're,
I just
the
couldn't tell.
stakes.
My sarcasm meter was jumping.
This-
I didn't know if he was.
That's like part of the movie. Like like just
Gotcha.
convincing the kids war is fun, and then
Gotcha.
like modern battle was terrible.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how bad the casualties were in like Napoleonic Wars, but I think they were much less
Yeah,
than what. Yeah,
definitely not as bad in terms of the sheer numbers.
yeah,
Because everybody's wearing armor and you
yeah.
get just super tired throwing your sword around.
No one did cardio.
Yeah, people just fall to the ground because they were tired.
Yeah,
And then, okay, we just agree not to hit anybody else once they fall down. They're tired. It's like a sport. It was like a severe combat sport. All right, that does it for nanodosing. We will see you guys on Thursday with Large, the Japan episode, and then I can't say anything else about the guests that are coming, but hopefully you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, it would suck if they were like, oh, that's mid.
Yeah, love you guys.